few years back, local brewer Bell's Brewery released a series of beers. It's based on a musical composition by Gustav Holtz. My rules for this: first, I crack open the beer. Second rule, I start the song. And then I start the movie while I drink the rest of the beer. Hello, and welcome back. Doing a tour of the solar system using Bell's Beer's The Planet series and listening to the music of Gustav Holtz, which inspired the series, and then also watching movies that were paired up with the releases of each of the beers through the Alamo Drafthouse. I am currently going into the third beer in the series. The third beer is Mercury, the Winged Messenger. This is a 4.8, so they're going down. The first one was 10.1, the second one was 7 something. So they're going down a little bit in alcohol content, which is probably good because I am feeling the effects of the first two already, even though we started about noon and it is now just after 4. The film that they chose to pair up, Flash Gordon. If you're familiar with this movie, you know that Queen did the soundtrack, including the main title song. So that's why they chose this one. When I did my first tour of the solar system, I did not actually own this movie yet, and I couldn't find it anywhere. I was looking for it in the time frame that I had where I had decided to do it and then get it done. I didn't have time to order it online. What I just ended up doing was just watching a bunch of Queen videos on YouTube while I drank the beer. I probably went into the next movie a little quicker than I should have and was feeling the effects fairly good by then. It's the Winged Messenger. I don't know if I said that already. This is a Belgian style ale. I don't remember hating any of the Planetary series. I would say though this was not my favorite of the series. It was good, but it wasn't something I would drink all the time. Let's crack it open and give it a taste and see what it seems like. Right off the bat, seems pretty good. Doesn't seem too foamy. I should say, also the person I received these beers from, I mentioned her at the beginning. Her name's Dana. I have full faith and confidence in how she would store these. Chances are none of them have really turned. She takes beer very seriously and would have them stored in such a way as to best preserve them. I'd actually be very surprised if any of them have turned in a major way, but so far, yeah, that still smells pretty good. Let me go ahead and get the song playing, and then I can pour this beer and we can take a look at it. All right. It is nice and clear though. Not clear, but I mean, you can see through it a little bit. Nice and light color. Let's take a taste. That's actually not bad. I may be misremembering this one and that it wasn't one of my favorites because that's actually got some nice flavor to it. I would still recommend that one if you're able to get a hold of it, if it's been stored correctly, apparently. Because, hey. So that was Mercury, the Winged Messenger. Let's go ahead and start the movie now, and we're going to watch Flash Gordon.
Titus, I'm bored. What plaything can you offer me today?
An obscure body in the SK system, Your Majesty. The inhabitants refer to it as the planet Earth.
Flash! Ah! Savior of the universe!
Sam Jones is Flash Gordon.
Flash! Ah! He's saving the universe!
So Flash Gordon is based on comics of the same name. About a human man that goes into space and fights against Ming the Merciless, or the Emperor Ming, as he's apparently called in the title of this one. The opening credits here have a lot of samples from the comics. They made a movie based on it. They've tried to do several other things. They did a sci-fi series early 2000s, I think, but it was a TV series for the Sci-Fi Channel, so the budget wasn't very big and it wasn't very well done. I think it only lasted a handful of episodes, if that. I mean, this didn't exactly have the biggest effects budget either. It was also made... When was this made? 1980. So the effects aren't the greatest, but it can still be a fun watch. Another thing I kind of feel I should mention about this movie, I don't think there is an official commentary for this movie. A podcast that I listen to called Big Kev's Geek Stuff, the two main guys from that, Kev and Matt, actually kind of did the work and got Sam Jones and Melody Anderson to come to their house and record an audio commentary for this movie. It was a limited edition thing. Unfortunately, I did not get it when it was available. I'm not sure you can still get it. They may have a couple copies that they keep for when they do conventions and stuff. They did the first official commentary for this movie with two of the stars. The more I think about it, they may have recorded one since then, like an official one, but that was the first one with both of them. And that was before Ted. That was before Ted happened and Sam Jones came kind of back into the limelight. So yeah, like I said, the effects in this movie aren't the best, but it's a low budget 1980s movie. You get what you expect. You just kind of let it go and have fun with it.
There's no sun. It's 8:24 in the morning, and there's no sun.
No sun?
No.
Check the angular vector of the moon.
Seemingly there is no reason.
I like that these two characters were apparently sleeping in their clothes.
Only Dr.
And you could argue that they were just taking a nap or something, but they both woke up fully clothed, and it's like 8:30 in the morning, so... And they were both under their covers, so they both went to bed, and like, went to bed fully clothed. It's like the filmmakers were like, we don't have time to show them getting dressed or even hint that they woke up and got dressed. They need to wake up and get right into the
More
action.
than 12 degrees.
That guy's in a lab coat. Who goes to bed in a lab coat?
Mistake. It's an attack. The phone is right in there.
So yeah, I do have some snacks. I figure if I'm going to be drinking most of the day, I probably need
Missed
food.
your opportunity. Strap yourselves down, quick!
And actually, for kind of a B movie, the effects aren't as terrible as they could be. They're not great. That rocket takeoff was a little wobbly. In the original Flash Gordon comics, I believe he was a rugby player? Does that sound right? And in the movie here, he's a quarterback for the New York Jets.
Strange object imaged in the Imperial vortex.
What distance?
There's a lot of good... I'm surprised I don't see a lot more cosplay of Flash Gordon at conventions.
Approaching.
There are a lot of really interesting costumes in this movie, especially once they get up into space.
Test object.
The Birdmen alone, I would love to do one of the Birdmen as a cosplay myself. So far, that has yet to happen. I mean, considering the movie was made in 1980, again, based on the DVD cover, but considering it is supposed to kind of take from like serials of the 1940s, 1950s, the effects being bad are kind of on purpose, I think. I mean, they kind of should be bad. They kind of should have that, you can see the string quality to them, and they definitely do. It definitely looks like an early Doctor Who episode, too. Again, there are just a lot of really interesting costumes in this movie, any one of which, like, if you just made and wore to a convention, let alone if you could get a group of people together and do, like, a bunch of these costumes as a group at a convention, that would probably be pretty popular. Voltan. It's the name of the leader of the Hawkmen. That'd be a good costume.
Sacrifice your daughter.
Kind of feel like Timothy Dalton would be in just about anything. I mean, he doesn't seem to have a lot of... He seems like he turns up in a lot of really weird movies that you wouldn't expect someone that you would think his pedigree is to show up in. Like this, for example. Especially after doing, like, the James Bond films, you would think he would be much more big pictures, but he does a lot of interesting choices.
Who are you?
Flash Gordon, quarterback, New York Jets.
Yeah, the fight choreography could be quite a bit better. Again, though, it kind of goes with those like serials of the 40s, 50s. So this place doesn't really seem like the kind of place to take prisoners. So it's kind of, well, okay, I guess if you put them in a spiky helmet like that, then that's one thing. But
I can hardly breathe in this thing.
it's quite the headstone they made him.
Do you realize what happens to me if I'm found out?
You won't be, I swear.
I'm a fool for you, Aura. Where am I?
Back from the dead. I've saved you.
My God! How?
By magic. It's not usually so bad this time of year.
How far to the landing pad?
6.4. I'll drop the flaps a little.
It's a good thing everyone in Ming the Merciless's reign speaks some form of English and has measurement systems that conform to some sort of English measurements.
Hey, buddy.
I can't imagine visibility is too great in those hoods.
Must be my lucky day. You scared?
So the idea here is you stick your hand in the tree stump, and if the bee stings you, you die, basically. The sting actually causes you to go mad and you die, but if you're lucky, they'll put you out of your misery before that happens. So they're kind of testing Flash right now. I think he wants him to die, but when it doesn't happen, it kind of...
No. Yours. Are you sure these are the rules? They've just been changed. Estimating 16.
Wake me when it's in sight.
Yes, sir.
And even the characters in this movie are going to sleep.
I would remind you of Article 17 of Ming's law. No Prince of Mungo taken captive to be offered for ransom without first being given the right of trial by combat. Who do you choose to fight? Him. This place is a lunatic asylum. Let the combat begin! To the death! Give me the remote control!
The fight just started, he's already bored with it.
He's tilting it.
Your moon is drifting very close now.
Earth's end might come within hours. You'd call out the attack?
I could.
everyone will be saved?
Yes. And no. After the earthquakes and tidal waves, they won't be quite the human beings you remember. They'll be more tractable, easier for you to rule. In the name of Ming.
You mean slaves?
Let's say they'll be satisfied with less.
Obviously, he's never met
Dale,
humans.
we have decided to marry her. She's exceptional.
I like that they just roll down the windows and shoot out the side of the spaceship. I guess the Hawk guys are flying through space without any sort of armor, but still.
Thank you.
Rocket A, Jack still approaching. Life form scanners identify Earthling Gordon at the controls. We guarantee its destruction when it reaches the lightning field. General Carter. General Carter, will you please show yourself on my screen?
Let's go.
Wait.
It's a boring conversation anyway.
Activate the lightning field.
Ruler of the universe, take this earthling, Dale Arden, to be your Empress of the Hour.
Empress of the Hour. Nice.
You promise to use her.
Pretty blunt tip on the end of that spike. I would think that would hurt an awful lot.
What? Don't move! Stay where you are!
Long live Flash! You've saved your Earth. Have a nice day.
Oh, the classic question mark. Nice. Well, that was Flash Gordon. Not the best movie ever, but fun in its own way. I got 4 more beers to get through. It's 6 o'clock. This is going to be a long evening. All right, I'm going to take a little break. We'll come back in the next video with the next beer and the next movie. All right, thanks.